Fusion is one of the oldest ideas in Dragon Ball. Two fighters, one body, sometimes double the power, sometimes far more. Every fusion has its own rules, its own risks, and its own personality. Some last 30 minutes, some last forever. Some create the strongest characters in the franchise. Others create disasters. Let's walk through every major fusion in Dragon Ball, from weakest to strongest. Piccolo and Nail. This is one of the earliest fusions in Dragon Ball Z, and it's the quiet kind. On Namek, the warrior Nail was dying after fighting Frieza. Rather than let his power go to waste, he offered to merge with Piccolo through Namekian assimilation. Assimilation is a one-sided fusion where a stronger Namekian absorbs a weaker one, keeping their memories and power. To put it in perspective, before the merge, Piccolo was outclassed by Frieza's first form. After absorbing Nail, he was strong enough to challenge second form Frieza and hold his own briefly. No dance, no earrings, just two Namekians becoming one. Assimilation is permanent, clean, and irreversible. Piccolo and Kami, the second Namekian merge, and a bigger one. Kami, the Guardian of Earth, and Piccolo Jr. were originally two halves of the same nameless Namekian who split himself thousands of years ago. When Piccolo asked Kami to merge with him during the arrival of the androids, the two halves finally recombined. To put it in perspective, this fusion multiplied Piccolo's power to a level higher than any Z fighter at that point, including base Goku and Vegeta. He briefly became the strongest Z fighter on Earth. The cost was the loss of the Dragon Balls. Since Kami's death meant Shenron was gone, Piccolo made the trade anyway. Assimilation once again, this time between two halves of the same soul, Gotenks. Now we reach the most iconic fusion method in the franchise, the fusion dance. Taught by the Metamoran race, it requires two fighters of equal power, height, and energy level. If either one is off, the fusion fails, often hilariously, producing a skinny, weak version, or a fat, useless version, stuck for 30 minutes. Gotenks is the result of Goten and Trunks, performing the fusion dance correctly during the Buu saga. He's cocky, undisciplined, and absurdly powerful for his age. In base form, he could match Fat Buu. In Super Saiyan 3, he pushed Super Buu to his limits, invented ridiculous named attacks, and nearly won on charisma alone. To put it in perspective, Gotenks at Super Saiyan 3 was stronger than any adult Z fighter at the time, except Goku and Ultimate Gohan. The catch? He's still two children in one body. His discipline is 0, and the fusion dance lasts only 30 minutes. Old Kai, the oldest Potara fusion in the franchise, and mostly a punchline. Long before Dragon Ball Z began, the Elder Supreme Kai fused with a witch he found attractive, and the fusion was permanent. He's been stuck as Old Kai ever since. To put it in perspective, this is the fusion that proves Potara has always been irreversible for Kais. Mortals just got lucky in Dragon Ball Super's retcon that made it temporary for them. Old Kai isn't strong, but he unlocked Gohan's mystic power and taught the heroes about Potara. Sometimes a fusion's value isn't in the power, it's in the timing. Vegito. Now we hit God tier. Vegito is the result of Goku and Vegeta using the Potara earrings during the Buu saga. Potara are magical earrings worn by the Supreme Kais. Two fighters put on one earring each, on opposite ears, and the fusion is instant, no dance required. The result is one of the strongest characters in the entire franchise, confident, cocky, and completely in control. In base form, Vegito casually toyed with Super Buu, who had already absorbed Gotenks and Gohan. In Super Saiyan, Vegito was so far above Super Buu that Buu had to absorb him just to survive. And even then, Vegito controlled Buu from the inside. To put it in perspective, Vegito is the fusion where Goku and Vegeta's egos amplify each other instead of clashing. In Dragon Ball Z, this fusion was permanent, but it broke early due to Buu's absorption effect. Vegito Blue, the Dragon Ball Super version. Goku and Vegeta used the Potara again during the fused Zamasu fight, but this time both were already in Super Saiyan Blue when they fused. The result is Vegito Blue, a fighter capable of pushing fused Zamasu, an immortal god, past his limits. To put it in perspective, Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta separately could barely land clean hits on fused Zamasu. Together as Vegito Blue, they dominated. The catch is that Dragon Ball Super changed the Potara rule for mortals. It now lasts 1 hour, or breaks early if the fused being takes enough damage. Vegito Blue's earrings shattered mid-fight due to the sheer energy demand. Even a fusion has a ceiling. Gogeta, the fusion dance version of Goku plus Vegeta. Gogeta is calmer than Vegito, more focused, and slightly less arrogant. He first appeared in Fusion Reborn to fight Janemba, wiping the villain out in less than a minute. To put it in perspective, base Gogeta was already stronger than any single fighter at the time. Gogeta doesn't waste words. He ends fights. The fusion dance still limits him to 30 minutes, but he rarely needs that long. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, the GT era version. When Goku and Vegeta performed the fusion dance in Super Saiyan 4 forms, the result was one of the most overpowered fighters in Dragon Ball history. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta could have ended Omega Shenron in seconds if he hadn't been busy showing off. His fusion timer was cut down to 10 minutes because of the sheer power. But during those 10 minutes, nothing in the universe could touch him. Gogeta Blue, the Dragon Ball Super Broly version. Goku and Vegeta performed the fusion dance in Super Saiyan Blue during their fight with full-power Broly. Gogeta Blue matched and eventually overpowered a Broly whose strength was still climbing. To put it in perspective, Broly at that moment was scaring even Beerus. Gogeta Blue treated him like a training exercise. This is one of the most efficient power spikes in the entire franchise. Kefla, a Universe 6 Potara fusion. Caulifla and Kale used the earrings during the Tournament of Power, creating Kefla, a raw and aggressive fighter. Kefla in Super Saiyan 2 could pressure Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. To put it in perspective, she forced Goku to fully unlock Ultra Instinct Sign in the middle of the tournament. Kefla is fast, wild, and reckless. She's also proof that Potara doesn't need decades of training to produce a top-tier threat. Fused Zamasu. The corrupted Potara merged between Goku Black and future Zamasu. Because future Zamasu was immortal, the fusion inherited that immortality, at least for a while. To put it in perspective, fused Zamasu could match Vegito Blue and threaten to erase every mortal in the multiverse. His fusion started to fall apart though, because divine and corrupted energies don't blend cleanly. His body warped, half turned to purple mush, and he became unstable. Even fusion has limits when the two halves want the same thing for different reasons. Baby Vegeta. Not a traditional fusion, but worth mentioning. In Dragon Ball GT, the Tuffle parasite Baby fused with Vegeta by taking over his body completely. Baby also gained access to the Great Ape form through his host. To put it in perspective, Baby Vegeta in Golden Great Ape form could fight Super Saiyan 4 Goku evenly. Possession fusion is one-sided, forced, and terrifying because the host has no say. Cell. Cell's entire existence is a form of fusion, built from the DNA of Goku, Vegeta, Frieza, Piccolo, and more. Cell's body absorbs energy and traits from every fighter he consumes. Absorbing androids 17 and 18 completed his design and unlocked his perfect form. To put it in perspective, absorption fusion is permanent, cumulative, and doesn't require consent. It's the darkest fusion method in the entire franchise. Super Buu. Similar to Cell but faster and messier. Super Buu absorbed Gotenks, Piccolo, and Ultimate Gohan one after another, each absorption dramatically increasing his power. To put it in perspective, Super Buu, after absorbing Ultimate Gohan, was strong enough to overpower Vegito's base form. Buu absorption is unstable though. Each host's personality bleeds into Buu, warping his identity over time. And that's every major fusion in Dragon Ball. From Namekian assimilation to Potara god-tier merges, the franchise has treated fusion as both a comedy gag and a story-defining power spike. Some fusions saved the universe, some ended it, and some just danced their way into legend. If you want to see every god of destruction ranked next, check out my other video.